The average interest rate in our country on home loans is anywhere between 6.5 to 8%. Now, if you had taken a loan anywhere before 2 to 3 years, you must have paid anywhere around 8 to 9.5% on your interest rate. Now, that's a saving of straight almost 2%, which converts to 10 to 15 lakh rupees on a 50 lakh rupee loan for 20 years. Now, if you want to understand how can you save that money on your home loans, go ahead, watch this video till the end. In this video, we are going to teach you not only how to save that money, but also what are the processes that you can follow to help you save that money. I'm Swati Singhania. We are unlocking financial literacy for you. And before we go ahead, do not forget to like, subscribe our channel, and also put a comment of which suggestion did you like the best in this particular video. So should we start ahead and see how we can save that 10 to 15 lakh rupees or probably multiples of that if you have a bigger home loan? So for us to understand that, let's understand this concept called repo rate. Now what's repo rate? Repo rate is basically the rate at which RBI gives money to all the banks in our country. So tomorrow if SBI, ICICI, HDFC, all these banks want to borrow money, they will go to the granddad, which is RBI. Now, RBI will obviously give money to them, lend money to them, because who else will they go to if they are in trouble, right? The granddad. Now, the granddad says, fair enough, I will lend you the money, but I will take a cost for it. So, this repo rate was actually 6.5% in August 2018. Now, this repo rate has actually come down to 4% in August 2020. So, if you see in this 2 years, the repo rate has actually gone down by 2.5%. Now, ideally, this saving should have been passed on completely to the home loan borrowers. Because why is it home loan borrowers? If you are a home loan borrower, you should know that you are really important to the government. What are the benefits you are helping the government create? You are buying a property. Now, this property is actually helping give employment to too many people. So, for example, cement, steel, labor, and so many, and construction. And so many other industries. So all these industries start making money as soon as you buy the house. So your buying house is extremely important for the economy to continue to function. Now this saving of repo rate of 2.5% should have passed on to you straight up. But these banks in our country are very smart. What they were basically doing was they were not passing on all the savings to you. In fact, in many cases, the RBI observed that the home loan interest rate savings was actually not passed down to the borrowers because of some or the other technical glitch that the banks had managed to create. So now, what did the RBI do? So the RBI realized, it worked on the data, and it realized that because this loan is not getting passed on, it decided to change the policies. So in August 2019, what did the RBI do? The RBI sent out a notification that all the home loan rates will not just be fixed by the banks. Obviously, they can be fixed by the banks, but it will be linked to an external benchmarking. What does this bring in? All the various banks that they were having their own policies and methods of deciding interest rates are now linked to one common policy, which is the external benchmarking rate. Now, we will be telling you what is external benchmarking rate in the next few minutes. And after that, we will be telling you what are the suggestions and how we can help you save money. So there's one thing that you really need to understand. It's slightly technical, but you need to understand it because then only you can fight with your bank. Now, if you go and look at your sanction letter, when the banks give you home loans, they issue you a document called loan sanction letter. Now, if you look at the home loan sanction letter, in that it will be written that the interest rate will be charged on, and most of the times if you have taken loan anywhere before October 2019, it must be written as MCLR 1 or MCLR 2. Now what does this mean? This basically means that the bank will decide at what interest rate it will charge, and it will be linked to their own benchmarking. So if you have taken a loan from ICICI Bank or any other bank, the bank will create its own interest rate, a base rate, and then you are given a +1, +2, +3 from it. So the minimum rate that the bank will charge will be, let's say, 8%. And if you are given MCLR 1 plus 1%, so that means 8 plus 1 is what you will be charged. So this is what the banks were doing. Now this base rate was different for an ICICI, for an HDFC, for an SBI, or for any other bank. So hence there was too much discrepancy in the market, and actually you and me and all home loan borrowers were landing up paying much higher to what they should have ideally paid or what the RBI wanted them to pay. So what the RBI then did was, in August 2019, it launched the external benchmarking rate. Now, what is external benchmarking? Let's quickly understand that. Now, when RBI mandated all the banks to link their home loan rates to external benchmarking rate, it said that external benchmarking would include RBI's repo rate. And that is why we have spoken about RBI's repo rate. So if you have skipped the initial part of the video, maybe you should go back and listen that what is RBI's repo rate. So the first thing it was linked to was RBI's repo rate. The second thing it was linked to was Government of India 3 months Treasury bill yield and Government of India 6 bill Treasury bill yield as published by FBIL. Let's not get into that nitty-gritties. And the fourth will be any other external benchmarking rate which the RBI can include later on. So if you see, the most practical external benchmarking rate was actually the RBI's repo rate. And it's also very transparent. You can just put the word RBI repo rate on Google and you will get all the history about it. So now the banks had no option but to charge you home loan interest rate linked to this benchmarking. But there is a catch, and that is why you need to understand what are your rights and what are the possibilities of how you can save money. So now let's understand as to what process can you do or what steps can you take to help you save that money. So now that we are helping understand how to save this money on home loans, you may also want to watch this video which talks about how you can actually pay your home loans at the extreme quickest rate possible. And it also explains that what are the various methods and processes you can take paying your home loan quicker. But so for now, this video, let's start understanding how can you save money on your home loans even if you don't want to pay them faster. So first of all, pick up your sanction letter. If you do not have your sanction letter, ask your bank to send you a sanction letter. So if you see something, a document like this must have come to you from the bank which says what is your loan amount, what is the interest rate, in how many EMIs you're supposed to pay, what is the mortgage they have taken, and etc. and so many other details. Now this sanction letter is very important. If you do not have this sanction letter, just call your bank's helpline or visit your branch and give them an application of issuing you a Xerox or a copy of your sanction letter. And here you will have your sanction letter, and that is a very, very integral document for your home loans. So now that you have your sanction letter in hand, just look at the interest rate that the bank is charging from you. There will be two methods it will be written. Either it will be written in MCLR 1Y, MCLR 2Y. Now that, as we explained, says that the bank will decide on what interest it has to charge, and it will be decided on its own base rate. And yes, we will have bonus tips toward the end on something that is going to actually add value to this saving, but go ahead and watch till the end for that. So if you see that MCLR 1, MCLR Y1, something like that will be written on your home loan. If that is written on your home loan, especially when the interest rates explanation is given, that means you are being charged interest rate at the older method, at the rates which RBI didn't like. So what you're supposed to do, you will actually go ahead and write an email to your bank. So write an email to your bank that I have this home loan account number. There is a home loan account number that you have. Make sure to write that in the reference. So you can write, I have this home loan account number, like you give your savings account number, and the loan is in the name of, and then you say that I want to shift my interest rates to the external benchmarking method. What you have to just write is external benchmarking method. And if you can't remember this, you can always write that I want to change my home loan interest rates and link it to the RBI repo rate. The banks will get the message and they will automatically call you. They are bound to reply if you send them a communication like that. You can send them an email. If you love sending letters, you can also send them a letter or an application with those details. Sign, stamp and send that letter to them. Now, once you send them a letter, your work is not done. Now that if you already sent a letter to the bank, the fourth step starts. Now your work doesn't stop here. It's not that you send the letter and the work is finished. You need to keep working. Now the fourth step is actually look for a competition bank. How to do that? The method that I use, I actually went to Google and I show you just now. So I went to Google and I typed home loan interest rates. Once I typed home loan interest rates, it gives me a lot of output. Now you may have a particular fancy, you may like a particular bank, you may say, okay, I like PSU banks or I like private banks, or this is a particular bank I have a very good experience with, but for some reason I never had a transaction with them. So pick up 2 or 3 banks like them and just visit their branch or call their helpline and say, I want to apply for home loan. Now automatically the bankers will talk. Now as soon as you've clicked that link, they will ask for basic details. Just go ahead and fill those details. Now, once you have filled up all those details and send that application, the banks are really looking for more and more customers. And believe me, you are going to receive a call within the next 2 to 3 days. Now, what you have to do is negotiate with them. And first of all, ask them that what will be the interest rate, tentative interest rate that they will charge by looking at your papers. Now, this is a word of caution for you. Don't submit your papers to the banks until unless you are sure that you want to go ahead with that particular bank. Because once you submit the papers to the bank is going to ask for processing fees from you. And that will be anywhere around 5 to 20,000 rupees depending on banks to banks. Now that is an expense which I am not sure you would want to take, because we are here helping you save money and not increase your expenditure. So don't submit your papers until unless you're sure. But the people who call you from the bank can always give you a band as to, sir, our interest rate is going 6.7% to 7.5% or 7% to 7.6%. Now you can always ask them that I have tentatively this amount of income and this is my exposure. What would tentatively be the interest rate? It will not be easy to ask for an interest rate from them, but they can still narrow down that search for you. So if they said 6.65 to let's say 7.5, once you give them the financials that you have, or roughly, only briefly if you give them, they will bring it down to anywhere around 6.9% to let's say 7.3%. So they will narrow that search for you. Now that is the band that you know that you can get from another bank. This would take probably 1 hour or 2 hours for you maximum, but this will give you a second option. Now let's wait for your main bank to respond, which should take anywhere around 1 to 2 days. If they do not respond, please call up your relationship manager and ask them to give you an answer on it. Now this process of changing this home loan interest rate will take anywhere around 10 to 15 days. So when I recently changed my home loan interest rate, it actually took around 15 days, including me sending the application and me receiving a final change of interest rate from the bank. So this is my experience. So anywhere between 15 days or maybe maximum 21 days, your interest rate will get changed. So wait for banks to respond. They have to respond. Now, the same buffer that they keep for you. So let's say their interest rate initially was that they were charging MCLR plus 1%. So they had some calculation in their backhand where they were asking extra 1% from you based on your financials, profile, the kind of loan you are given, your credit history, and there are too many combinations to it. But they will keep a buffer. They are not going to charge interest rate at 4%. They are going to take buffer, but anywhere between 7 to 8% is what you are looking at. And most of the times the bankers these days are trying to bring it down to 7 to 7.5% because it's a very competitive market and there is always a parallel bank who is ready to take over your loan. So this, my friends, is the next step. Now I'm hoping that your main bank must have given you a very good interest rate. Now in case the reduction in the interest rate that they offer you is not sufficient to what you're expecting, and you know that a parallel bank is ready to offer you a cheaper interest rate, go ahead and apply to the parallel bank. Remember, there will be a cost relating to processing fees and also a lot of documentations. But the parallel bank can actually take over your loan from your main bank, and then your bank will shift from X to Y. So not only will you save on your interest rate, but you will also have probably experience with a newer bank, and you may find that newer bank better than the older bank. So this is the way through which you can help save money on your home loan interest rates. Now here are 2 bonus tips for you. Now the first bonus tip is that if you have decided and if you have figured out how to save interest rates, when the interest rates are reduced, remember your EMIs will also reduce. Now when your EMIs are reducing, remember to watch this video that we spoke about. This video speaks as to how you can play with your EMI and really reduce your repayment tenure. So remember to increase your EMI and not reduce your EMI, because that is going to help you reduce the tenure of your home loan. Maybe you were at 20 years or 18 years. So the savings that you do on your interest rates, ask your bank to increase the EMI accordingly. So this 20 years will straight away go down to 17 years. So obviously you've saved 3 years of repayment, and that is a great negotiation that you have managed to do. Now if you're excited, let me take you to the second bonus tip. So the second bonus tip is that this change in interest rate will help you change your interest rate every 3 months at least. Now the older method was that even in floating interest rate, your interest rate will change once in a year or once in 2 years. Let's say you managed to get your loan in April 2018 at 9%. Now your bank had reduced its MCLR by 0.5% in July 2018. Now will that bank reduce your 9% also? No, it will wait till April 2019 and then only reduce your interest rate. So again, this was a place where home loan borrowers were losing. What RBI said was that when you link their home loan to the external benchmarking rate, remember to change it every 3 months. Now there are cases where you can actually get it changed even a month, but I think 3 months is a good tenure because it's a good tenure. The repo doesn't change so frequently, and so the home loan will not change so much. So that is a negotiation that you can let go also. But 3 months is a good negotiation and you should fight for it, and it would not be very difficult. So this is a very, very easy process. It is not anything big deal. It is just about knowing your rights. It is just about knowing your finances, unlocking your finances for you, and sending that one email to the banker and also doing a little bit of follow-up. So if you're ready to do all this, you will be saving anywhere around 5 to 10% on your total home loan, and that is a very, very big deal. In a case that I really helped save, they have actually saved their EMI tenure by 2.5 years. So their repayment was supposed to end in 2033. And now it is ending in 2029. Why I'm saying is 2.5 years, because there is some months gap. So they actually saved almost 2.5, 3 years on their home loan, and they've tried maintaining the same EMI. Now this has helped them, just by changing this interest rate, has helped them save 3 years of EMI, which is a big deal, because in total this is a loan of anywhere around 1.3 crores. Now they have actually saved around 20 lakhs roughly on that. Now that's obviously a big deal. It's almost like buying the new interiors for your flat altogether. So this is the amount and quantum of savings that you can do through this process. I really hope that you liked it. Do not forget to like, subscribe our channel. I am Swati Singh and I am waiting to hear from you as to what you liked best in this particular video. And looking forward to see you in the next video very soon. See you. Have a great day. Bye.